Robert is 65 years old. Every Sunday afternoon, he spends hours in his kitchen preparing a large, healthy batch of meals for the upcoming week. He cooks a massive pot of rice, roasts several chicken breasts, and sautés a beautiful, dark green mound of fresh spinach. He is doing exactly what every single health magazine and doctor tells him to do. He is eating his vegetables, he is being practical, and he takes pride in never wasting food. But every single evening, when Robert takes a container of those leftovers out of his refrigerator and presses the 2-minute button on his microwave, he is unknowingly committing a biological mistake that is quietly destroying his internal organs. Lately, about an hour after dinner, Robert has started to notice a strange, dull heaviness sitting just below his ribs. It is not exactly a sharp pain, it is a vague, uncomfortable fullness, a phantom indigestion that leaves him feeling deeply exhausted. When he mentions it to his doctor, he is told it is probably just acid reflux or that his digestion is simply slowing down with age. But that dull, heavy feeling is not normal digestion. It is a desperate, silent alarm bell. You see, the danger is not the healthy food that Robert chose to cook. The absolute, life-threatening danger is the second time heat touches that food. Your pancreas is an incredibly delicate, vital organ hidden deep behind your stomach. And the most terrifying thing about the human pancreas is that it does not have surface pain nerves. It does not swell up. It does not send sharp, shooting pain signals when it is being chemically attacked. It suffers in absolute, terrifying silence. By the time a patient actually feels severe pain in their pancreas, the damage is almost always irreversible. Robert believes he is simply reheating his healthy dinner. But when that secondary wave of intense heat hits his pre-cooked food, it triggers a violent, invisible phenomenon known as thermal mutation. He's not just warming up his chicken and spinach. He is turning his microwave into a microscopic chemical reactor, transforming innocent nutrients into highly toxic, genotoxic compounds that his pancreas has absolutely no defense against. Let's look at the microreactor and the terrifying, invisible chemistry of what actually happens to your healthy food the second time it gets hot.
The second time it gets hot. When Robert cooks his beautiful, dark green spinach on Sunday, it is packed with naturally occurring, completely harmless compounds called nitrates. But when that cooked spinach sits in his refrigerator overnight, natural bacteria begin to quietly convert those harmless nitrates into nitrites. When Robert takes that cold container on Monday night and blasts it with the intense penetrating radiation of a microwave, a terrifying thermal mutation occurs. The extreme secondary heat forces those nitrites to violently react with the amino acids in the food, creating a highly dangerous class of chemical compounds called nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are not just unhealthy. They are classified by global health agencies as highly probable human carcinogens. They are genotoxic. This means they literally bypass your cell's outer defenses, break directly into the nucleus, and quietly corrupt your actual DNA blueprint. And it is not just the spinach. When you reheat a piece of fried chicken or throw last night's potatoes into a pan with a little oil, that secondary heat causes the cooking oil to undergo severe oxidative breakdown. It releases hundreds of toxic free radicals called aldehydes, which act like microscopic sparks flying off an out-of-control fire, randomly burning the healthy cells in your digestive tract. Your pancreas is the most delicate, precise chemical factory in your entire body. It is responsible for carefully balancing your blood sugar and producing the exact, highly sensitive enzymes required to digest your food. Imagine a master watchmaker trying to assemble a microscopic, fragile gold watch with tweezers while standing inside a burning building with the roof collapsing around him. That is exactly what your pancreas is doing when you flood your bloodstream with nitrosamines and aldehydes from reheated leftovers. It is forced into a state of chronic, toxic panic. This is the ultimate medical failure of modern nutrition. Every health guru tells you to meal prep and eat more greens, but nobody warns you that putting Tuesday's spinach in the microwave turns a biological superfood into a DNA-damaging poison. Stopping this daily thermal mutation is the absolute first step to saving your organs. But if you have spent the last decade reheating your dinners and meal prepping your vegetables, your pancreas, your gut, and your liver are already saturated with these genotoxic compounds. To truly extinguish the fire, stop the chronic inflammation, and physically flush these accumulated toxins out of your cells, you must provide your body with highly specific biological raw materials. There is a complete, scientifically backed cellular repair protocol designed specifically to detoxify your deep organs and restore your pancreatic function from the inside out. We have linked a comprehensive private presentation detailing this exact repair protocol. You can watch this mandatory video right now by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. If you are over 60 and want to flush the thermal toxins from your body and protect your pancreas before it is too late, pause this video, go to the pinned comment below, and click the link to secure your access. But before you do, you must understand the invisible biological threat lurking inside the most common leftover in the world. Let's look at the invisible spores and the terrifying heat-resistant trap hiding inside your cold white rice.
Hiding inside your cold white rice. When Robert cooked that massive, beautiful pot of white rice on Sunday afternoon, he left it sitting on the kitchen counter to cool down before putting it in the refrigerator. This is exactly what your grandmother taught you to do, and it is a catastrophic biological trap. You see, almost all raw rice contains a specific, highly resilient bacterium called Bacillus cereus. When you boil the rice, the intense heat successfully kills the active bacteria, but it does not kill the spores. A spore is a hardened, microscopic suit of biological armor. It is a survival structure designed specifically to withstand boiling water and extreme temperatures. They sit completely dormant in your perfectly cooked rice. They are completely invisible. They have no smell and no taste. But the exact moment the temperature of that rice drops, as it sits cooling on your kitchen counter, those hardened spores wake up. They rapidly multiply in the warm, starchy environment, and as they multiply, they produce a highly dangerous biological byproduct, a poison. When Robert takes that rice out of the fridge on Wednesday and blasts it in the microwave, he is relying on a fatal illusion. The microwave radiation successfully kills the newly hatched live bacteria, but the toxin they already produced is heat stable. It is completely immune to the microwave. It survives the heat entirely intact. Think of a factory illegally dumping toxic chemicals into a river. The microwave shuts down the factory, but the barrels of poison are already in the water, floating directly toward the delicate lining of your gut and shooting straight into the gut-pancreas axis. Every single time you eat days-old reheated rice, you are forcing your pancreas to filter out this heat-stable poison, causing a state of chronic low-grade inflammation that exhausts your beta cells over time. And if Robert decides to reheat his roasted chicken breasts in that same microwave, he is activating a completely different, equally terrifying biological mechanism. A microwave does not cook food evenly like a traditional oven. It aggressively excites water molecules inside the food. But because a piece of chicken has different densities, different fat pockets, and different moisture levels, the microwave creates microscopic, invisible areas called cold spots. When Robert touches the outside of the chicken, it is scorching hot. It burns his fingers. But just 1 centimeter deep inside the meat, there is a cold spot sitting at the exact, precise temperature that dangerous bacteria prefer. These cold spots are not death zones for pathogens like Salmonella. They are warm, moist, protein-rich incubators. When you eat microwaved chicken, you are swallowing these surviving bacterial colonies. They trigger a violent, systemic inflammatory war inside your digestive tract. And your pancreas is never allowed to sit on the sidelines. It is violently dragged into the crossfire, forced to manage a massive inflammatory cascade while trying to perform its delicate, vital daily functions. Let's look at the cold food protocol and the exact, surprisingly simple rules you must follow tomorrow to permanently stop the thermal mutation in your kitchen.
Permanently stop the thermal mutation in your kitchen. Tomorrow morning, you are going to fundamentally change the way you interact with your leftover food. You are going to adopt the cold food protocol. And the most incredible part of this biological shift is that by simply refusing to press the start button on your microwave, you are actually creating a powerful, healing superfood. Think about the roasted potatoes you made on Sunday. When a potato is cooked and then completely cooled in the refrigerator, a remarkable biological transformation takes place. The regular, fast-digesting starches physically convert into something called resistant starch. Resistant starch is a genuine metabolic miracle. It acts like a thick, protective shield for your blood sugar. It feeds the highly beneficial bacteria in your gut, and it completely prevents the violent, dangerous insulin spikes that exhaust your delicate pancreatic beta cells. A cold, cooked potato is metabolically a completely different and vastly superior food than a hot one. But the exact second you put those cold potatoes back into the microwave or toss them into a frying pan with hot oil, you completely destroy the resistant starch. In exactly 90 seconds, you chemically mutate a protective superfood back into a fast-digesting, pancreas-exhausting sugar bomb. Robert stopped using his microwave as a chemical reactor. He stopped reheating his dark leafy greens, and instead he began folding his cold-cooked spinach into fresh salads. He stopped leaving his massive pots of rice on the counter to cool slowly, and began spreading the rice wide and shallow on a baking sheet, forcing it to cool in under an hour before locking it in the refrigerator. And most importantly, he started eating his roasted potatoes cold, tossed with high-quality olive oil and fresh herbs. Within just 2 weeks of stopping the thermal mutation, the heavy, phantom indigestion sitting just below his ribs completely vanished. His pancreas was finally allowed to stop fighting the chemical fires and return to its quiet, delicate, essential work. But you must understand, stopping the daily chemical assault is only the first step. If you have spent the last 20 years reheating your rice, microwaving your spinach, and flooding your delicate internal organs with nitrosamines and heat-stable toxins, your pancreas and your gut are already operating in a state of severe, chronic exhaustion. To truly pull your organs back from the brink of irreversible damage, you must actively flush the accumulated genotoxic waste from your cells. If you want to completely restore your pancreatic function, heal your inflamed gut lining, and protect your cellular DNA from further mutation, you need the complete clinical blueprint.
There are specific, silent dietary triggers in your pantry right now that are actively blocking your body's natural detoxification, and exact cellular protocols you must hit every day to force your deep organs to regenerate. To get the complete step-by-step pancreas and gut restoration protocol, click the link in the pinned comment below. Watch the comprehensive free presentation right now before the medical establishment forces it to be taken down. The ultimate solution to protecting your deepest, most vital organs is waiting for you. Just click the link in the first pinned comment. Do not let the convenience of a microwave quietly destroy your cellular blueprint. Respect the invisible chemistry of your food. Cool it fast, eat it cold, stop the mutation, and give your silent, hardest working organ the biological peace it desperately needs to keep you alive.